Okay, so it doesn't matter how much money you make. I know some of you are rich out there, right? But in this video, I'm going to talk about 7 things that no matter how much money you make, you should always be buying for cheap. My name is Adrian. This is Always Talk Money. I like to talk money as it relates to everyday life and anything else that can help you to level up financially. So if that sounds very good to you, please leave a like for the video and as well as subscribe, become part of the family. We release new videos every single week. And stick around till the end of the video because number 7 is one that a lot of people overpay for. And to me, it's totally unnecessary. So let's get into the video. With the current US auto loan crisis and the repossession rates that are currently going on right now, a car is something that you should always buy for as cheap as possible. Not to say to buy a clunker, you want something that's safe, reliable, especially if you're transporting kids, but you don't need to buy a new car. You don't need to buy the latest model car. You don't even need to buy the highest trim of the car because, right, cars come in different trims. You have the luxury model, then you have the base model. And the base model is just good enough, guys. I see so many people get into these exorbitant car payments that they can't even barely afford every single month. And you wonder why your budget is out of whack. You wonder why you struggle to pay the bills every single month because you're spending on a car that you should have spent way cheaper money on. Get a base model car, get a used car, get a car that's 5 to 6 to 7 years old. It's just as reliable as the ones that they released this model a year, right? Sometimes you're just going from A to B, and a lot of y'all are working from home or working on a hybrid schedule, so you don't even need a car like that in the first place, right? So why are you blowing out your budget, keeping yourself poor by buying an expensive car? A car is something that you should always try to buy for as cheap as possible. The next middle class trap that I see a lot of Americans spending exorbitant money on, and they do it every single year, and that is cell phones, specifically the smartphone. And in this country we have Apple and we have Samsung. Those are the two big players. I know there are other phone companies out there, but these are the two companies that people tend to care the most about. But when you're buying a cell phone, you don't need to buy the ones with the 10, $11 million cameras. You don't need to buy the ones with top of the line storage. You don't need to buy the ones that has the Vision Pro Max HDR video camera, when at the end of the day, you're never going to be Martin Scorsese, right? You're still going to be taking crappy pictures of your kids with their boogers. So forget about buying the highest model cell phone. Buy the base model, buy the mid-tier model, right? Or even just keep your phone for longer. I don't know why you want to buy a phone every single year. You're just wasting too much money. And I know it's the rite of passage for the American consumerist lifestyle to have the latest cars and the latest cell phones, but it is totally unnecessary. Now, this third one is something that maybe a lot of people are going to disagree with, but I'm going to stand my ground on this one. And that is cereal. Another part of the American staple is buying these expensive cereals. And if you think, oh, it's just $1 or $2 or $3, think about all the cereal that you buy over the extension of a whole year, right? Especially when you have kids that are teenagers growing and so on and so forth. You don't need to buy the most expensive cereal out there. The generic version is just as good. And a lot of times you are blowing out your budget thinking, oh, I need to make sure I get this name brand cereal so that my kids can be happy. You know what would make your kids happy? You not being stressed out, worrying about the bills every single month, worrying about your budgeting every single month. Those are the things that actually make you happy. Peace of mind, you can't really put a price on that. But if you could find some peace of mind in knowing that, okay, I can save 20, 30, 40 bucks every single month by cutting out buying expensive cereal, that could go a long way. That could probably pay for an extra bill around the household, right? That could help your budget have some breathing room, right? And if you're having trouble budgeting, if you're having trouble money managing, I have an ebook in the description down below, a money management ebook. It'll actually take you step by step on how to effectively manage your money. And also, if this video is bringing you value so far, please give a like for the YouTube algorithm, as well as subscribe, become part of the family. We make new videos on personal finance and just money in general every single week. Now, the next thing that I want to tackle is airline tickets, right? I know a lot of people are bougie about the airlines that they fly on. Me personally, I'm not bougie at all. I just need to get on a flight to get to my destination as quickly and safely and effectively as possible. And with the relative safety of airline travel, I'm not so much worried about, oh, this airline is this or this airline is that. Now, I know bags and fees and things of that nature you have to take into account, but personally, I don't travel with checked luggage because I just can't deal with the hassle. So if you're someone who's just going somewhere real quick, why do you need to have the most expensive airline? Why do you need to have that upgrade and stretch your budget farther than it can take you, right? You're all going to get to the destination at the same time. Sure, you might get a little bit extra leg room. Maybe they give you a little champagne or whatever, but is it really worth the upcharge? Your lazy boy at home is infinitely more comfortable than an airline seat, but you're not paying an extra 57, 89, $100 each leg that you fly just to sit in your lazy boy, are you? Right, exactly. So buy the most economical airline ticket for your pockets and save your money. This next thing is really keeping a lot of Americans broke because they don't want to be shamed by this specific purchase. And this is your house. A lot of people buy houses just to please the Joneses. A lot of people buy houses so their parents or their friend group will be proud of them. Oh, you want to get the house with 2, 3, 4 extra bedrooms and a movie theater and so on and so forth. If you cannot afford that, if you are just trying to impress your friends and family, go cheap on buying a house. You should not try to blow your budget. You should not try to follow the people on HGTV. As you see, there's someone always with a budget and then someone else goes with their emotions. Oh, this house is perfect. It's in the perfect zip code. It has the pool. It has all these amenities. And they go $80,000 over budget. And that's $80,000 plus interest because you're going to have a mortgage, right? And these are decisions that will haunt you for the rest of your life. These are decisions that will stop you from getting your nest egg, from retiring early and comfortably and not having to work past your retirement age, not having to work when you're really tired. You should not buy a house if you're not in the position to do it because a house, the mortgage is the least you're going to have to pay because on top of the mortgage, you have property taxes, you have insurance, then you have maintenance, then you have upgrades, then you might have HOA fees on top of that, right? So there's so many expenses that comes with buying a house. Be cheap, be frugal when you're buying a house. And if you're anything like me, if you can buy a house in the perfect conditions for you, I would say just don't do it at all. Just wait until you make more money, wait until you're in a better position in your career, that you will be the one that has the leverage. You never want to go in a house buying proposition when the bank has the leverage, when the realtor has the leverage, when the seller has the leverage, and everybody else is looking at you, making you the fool, making you broke, and they're getting rich. So don't do that. And speaking of house, the next thing I see a lot of people overspend on is home internet and entertainment service. A lot of people are using cable. They're having cable boxes in every single room. You have to pay equipment fees, all these extra speeds on your internet when all you're doing is maybe you watch Netflix 1 or 2 times a week, or maybe all you do is work from home and send emails. Why do you need the enterprise internet plan that costs an extra $100 per month? These companies are made to upsell you. A lot of times you could go cheaper because you can compare home internet services and cable services and so on and so forth between the different providers. And sometimes people go with the ones with the brand and they end up overspending. And I'm talking to you guys about this stuff because it seems trivial, but when you think about the fact that the average American is paying $700 on their car note, you're paying a lot in groceries and buying expensive and name brand foods, right? Then you're paying extra on your home internet service. Then you're paying extra on your mortgage and your HOA fees. All these extra expenses add up. So instead of having 500, 600 extra to put into your investment account, put into your 401k, put in towards your nest egg, you are using that to fund your current lifestyle. And this is what they call lifestyle creep, lifestyle inflation. And this afflicts a lot of people. And your lifestyle would not go down if you get this stuff for cheaper. My lifestyle did not suffer because I fly a cheaper airline. My lifestyle did not go down because I use a cell phone that is 3, 4, 5 years old. My lifestyle definitely didn't go down because I bought a used car to drive around for $5,000. In fact, my lifestyle went up because I have more cash flow and more money freedom to do the things that I really, really want to do. And speaking of cell phone, speaking of internet service, the last thing that I'm going to leave you with is that a lot of people spend so much on their personal cell phone service. We are in an era where, if you remember, a lot of people who might be watching this channel, you remember when you used to have caps on your data, you remember you used to have minutes, you had to wait till 9 p.m. until your minutes was unlimited, but before that you had like 500 minutes. Now we're in an era where cell phone service, texting, and internet service is unlimited. And we have much cheaper mobile services nowadays, right? We have services that are 30 bucks a month, 40 bucks a month, and they can cover your internet speeds, your cell phone, and unlimited texting on your cell phone service. But why are you still paying the exorbitant fees for these big companies? Why are you spending all this money just to say, oh, I have this cell phone service and the internet is fast and I have the international plan, when you haven't even been out of the country in 3 years, right? So all these things that they upsell you to buy and to purchase every single month, because everything that I listed on this list is recurring payments. It's not one time. You have to buy these things every single month. So if you're spending $500 extra a month between all these different services, that's $6,000 a year. In 10 years, that's $60,000. How would you like in 10 years from now to have an extra $60,000 just by saving money on these things that you think, oh, I'm making a big deal out of it? But look at that. Look at the numbers. $60,000 in a 10-year span that you could be saving if you went cheap on these 7 items. And these are just the most common ones. There's a lot of things that a lot of Americans out there overspend on, that blow their budget on, and it is just ridiculous if you ask me, in my opinion. So save your money on these 7 things. My name is Adrian. This is Always Talk Money. Like the video if it brought you value. Subscribe to the channel, become part of the family. Check my links in the description down below for additional resources, please and thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.